Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch You Want. Thanks for logging on. Today we're joined by one of the stars of SIHH 2015, part of the Vacheron Constantin 260th anniversary celebrations. This is the Harmony Dual Time, part of a new model line unveiled in 2015. You can see it and you can buy it on our website, watchyouwant.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and click on the card at any time. It's in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, and it'll lead you to additional high-resolution images of this watch, the impressive accessory set, and complete pricing details for this 18-karat white gold dual time. Now, on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters, the watch definitely has modern size but historic proportions. The cushion case here is part of what might be called the first coming of the cushion case. The second was during the 70s, the first was during the 1920s and 30s, and it's definitely that era to which this design refers. Now, it features a broad case, 40 millimeters from what would be considered the round of a normal case, 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, not including the crown. It is quite slim. Now, the watch is only 11.5 millimeters thick, and you can see that with the step of the bezel in the case, it easily fits underneath a tight sleeve or dress cuff. Now, 49 millimeters from lug to lug, it has tidy proportions, if large dimensions in an outright sense. Certainly larger than its historical antecedents, nevertheless not overwhelming. Even on my wrist, I would say you could wear this watch with great proportion and security on a wrist down to as small as 14.5 centimeters. And it's matched by an incredible heft on the wrist. Major wrist presence, major physical presence. You feel it. It's a deep and heavy 18-karat white gold, and it's matched by a very substantial Maltese cross deployant clasp. Double deployant. It's a little bit easier to fit to a smaller wrist than a single fold deployant, which can sometimes crimp and pinch a smaller wrist. Not so here. Beautifully finished. Again, Maltese cross on the outside, Maltese cross on the inside, with a sort of matte finish contrasting with polish. Nothing in or on or around this clasp is roughly finished. There's no evidence of stamping, of milling, or manufacture. It's as beautifully finished as every other part of this Geneva seal timepiece. And it is worth mentioning that Vacheron Constantin subscribes to the new Geneva hallmark, which includes external parts of the watches as well as the movement. Now, the case, although sensuous and smooth, does have strength thanks to the stepped bezel and the small halo step around the circumference of the crystal. It's a small metal lip that adds just a bit more definition and luster, and it leads into a dial that is breathtaking. Now, it's matte silver, but it's almost a whitish silver. Definitely one of the lighter silvers you'll encounter. The lack of a sunburst pattern definitely aids the vintage impression, as does the 1 through 12 set of stylized and hand-painted blue lacquered Arabic numerals. Very dramatic. They have their own gleam and gloss to them that really tells in direct lighting. Now, at center, 18-karat white gold pear style hands, vintage inspired, very dramatic, and actually quite easy to read. Now, the watch is a dual time. It features an independent second time zone, and you can set the time zones in sync, for instance, when they are coupled. And then you can decouple and set the time zone at 4 o'clock independently. It's matched by an AM/PM indicator with a beautiful applied star and sun, which is a wonderful touch on a dial that is largely unmarred by embellishment, featuring a very chaste and traditional Vacheron Constantin printed signature with applied white gold Maltese cross at 12 o'clock. The off-centered, almost pocket watch-inspired sub-registers have a little bit of a quirky charm to them. Like everything else about the watch, there's a strong vintage vibe going on, aided and abetted by the most traditional standards of finishing, albeit in a movement that is thoroughly modern. This is Vacheron Constantin's in-house caliber 2460-1. Now, it's an automatic winding caliber with a 40-hour power reserve, very efficient unidirectional winding. This movement was designed by Vacheron Constantin to serve its complications as a base caliber, and it helped to phase out the long-running JLC 889 and its derivatives in the Vacheron Constantin catalog. Now, you can see that when I pull the crown to extremity, it does hack the balance, so you can precisely synchronize this watch to a known accurate reference time. The 22-karat winding mass is a little bit exceptional because there are many brands these days that are going with 21, 18 carats, or even non-precious metal winding masses, usually derivatives of tungsten. No such thing here. This is a Geneva seal quality movement, All the screw heads are polished, their slots are chamfered, there's gorgeous mirrored anglage, there is a subtle but present, deeply textured Côte de Genève across the bridges, and everything is up to the standard you would expect from one of the holy trinity houses of Swiss watchmaking, along with Patek Philippe and, of course, Audemars Piguet. Nevertheless, this is a thin, fine, and beautiful movement, a worthy successor to the JLC 889, and part of the vanguard in the mid-2000s of Vacheron Constantin's new wave of in-house calibers. A true manufacturer, Vacheron Constantin was also part of the revisions to the Geneva seal to bring them up to the standard of the Patek Philippe seal, taking the standards of finish previously applicable to movements and spreading them to include the entire watch, and this watch is reflective of that. You can see this star of SIHH 2015 and own it on our website, watchyouwant.com.